Okay, so we're jumping into a story that is just wild. It's sitting right at this strange intersection of celebrity, new tech, and a pretty grim Hollywood mystery. We're talking about a viral music star, a high-tech car, and a discovery that has kicked off a major police investigation. Let's get into it.
You know, every big case starts with something small, a single clue. And for this one, it wasn't a phone call, it wasn't a witness. It was a smell. Workers at a tow yard in Hollywood noticed this awful odor coming from one of the cars they just brought in.
And we're not talking about some old beat-up car here. Nope. The smell was coming from the front trunk, the frunk, of a Tesla, a car that's all about the future, now holding this really dark, decomposing secret.
Right, so how in the world do you go from a simple abandoned car to a full-blown homicide investigation? Well, it all happened really, really fast, over just a few days.
So let's break this down. About 5 days back, someone reports this Tesla just sitting on a Hollywood street, abandoned. A few days go by and it finally gets towed. Then, on Monday, around lunchtime, workers at the impound lot are like, whoa, what is that awful smell? They call the LAPD. Cops show up, pop open that front trunk, and they find human remains. Just like that, this goes from a parking issue to a major crime scene.
And this is where the story just explodes. Because when the police run the license plate, they find out this car doesn't belong to just anybody. It's registered to a massive music star.
The car, it's registered to David Anthony Burke. You probably know him better as D4VD. He's only 20 years old and has just blown up over the last couple of years, mostly thanks to social media.
And just so you get a sense of how famous this guy is, we're talking over 33 million monthly listeners on Spotify. That's not a small artist. This is a global name. And now he's right in the middle of a homicide case. I mean, this is the guy who gave us those huge viral hits like Romantic Homicide and Here With Me. He built his entire career on TikTok. And here's the crazy part. While all of this is going down, he's on a world tour. He's actually scheduled to play a show right there in LA later this month.
So naturally, everyone wants to know what his team is saying. They put out a statement pretty quick. A spokesperson told NBC News that, yeah, he's still on tour, but he knows what's happening and he is fully cooperating with the police.
Okay, but here's where it gets messy. A source high up in the LAPD has said that D4VD owns a bunch of cars, and a lot of different people use them. And that one detail, it just completely changes the game. It makes it way harder to connect the car's owner directly to the crime.
All right, let's step away from the celebrity angle for a second and look at what the investigators are actually dealing with on the ground. What are the cold, hard facts of this case?
So here's what's been confirmed. The body was found inside a bag in that front trunk. We have no idea who the victim is yet, and because the body was badly decomposed, it's making it incredibly difficult for the medical examiner to do their job. So, cause of death? Still a question mark. But the LAPD isn't waiting. They are treating this as a homicide, period.
And just so we're clear on what homicide investigation means, that's just police speak for we're treating this like a murder. They're going to work on the assumption that this was foul play unless the coroner says otherwise. It basically sets the whole urgent tone for the investigation.
So you take all the facts we do have, and you're still left with a story that's basically a giant piece of Swiss cheese. I mean, the biggest pieces of the puzzle are completely missing.
And these are the massive questions investigators are trying to answer right now. Number one, obviously, who is the victim? That's everything. Then, what actually happened to them? Who was driving that Tesla? Who's the person who just left it on a Hollywood street? And of course, the million-dollar question. Is there any connection, any at all, between this poor person and the car's famous owner? And that's where things stand. You've got this collision of new-age celebrity and a really old-school grim crime. The investigation is just getting started, and there are so many secrets that Tesla is still holding on to.